How's it going, folks? Coming at you from a lovely fresh winter's morning in Dublin city centre. I am in Molesworth Place, Dublin 2, pretty city centre location near Grafton Street, and I'm heading over to this place over here, that purple building, Molesworth Clinic. I've been booked in here for the last 3 weeks and I'm all psyched up for it now. Definitely not going back. I've got a nice few days off work as well to recover nicely. I'm all psyched up for it, folks. I'm going in. I'm gonna knock on this door here. I ain't coming back out until the doctor snips that little tube in my ball bag once and for all. Now on my way home after getting the snip, and I have to say, folks, that was a doddle. Tell you, I had nothing to be worrying about. The worst part was actually sitting in the waiting room anticipating to go in, and then he sits you down and has a little chat about possible complications. Other than that, grand, simple little procedure. And you know what, I knew it was going to be like that. Why? Because I put myself out there on YouTube, reached out and connected with like-minded people. Big shout out to you, child-free dude, or should I say fellow snip bro. It just feels like a big weight just lifted off me there now, folks. Just meaning to get this done for so long. It's just, yes, I've finally done it. Now it's just all about relaxing, making a good recovery, and looking ahead with my new vasectomy life. Happy days. Okay, folks, it's been exactly 48 hours since I had my vasectomy done, and the crown jewels are doing absolutely fine. The place that I went to, it's called Vasectomy Ireland. I'll leave a link to their website in the description box down below, and I have to say the website is really good. The attention to detail and the layout is very impressive. Every single nook and cranny is covered. There's no stone left unturned. And if you're thinking about getting a vasectomy in Dublin, I'd highly recommend that you have a look at their website. It gives you all the information that you need. The vasectomy cost me €450. That covers everything: consultation, jockstrap, and other stuff that I'm going to get into just now. So I had my appointment at 9 AM and the doctor came out to greet me in the waiting room. He's only a young fella, he was, probably the same age as me, probably even younger. Yeah, he looked really young. I couldn't get over how young he was. But we went into his little room and he said to me, okay, take a seat there. And he sat down next to me and he said to me, right, this is the worst thing that's going to happen to you today. And he started drawing a diagram with a pen on a piece of paper of like a scrotum with 2 testicles and all the tubes, and showing me exactly what he was going to do. And then he started pointing out some complications that could possibly happen. Now they're only 1%, 2% chance. He was saying there was like a 1% chance that I could get some internal bleeding in the scrotum, and if that happens I'll have to be taken to the operating room in a casualty ward. And then he said to me afterwards, says, do you still want to go ahead with it? So like, I was just thinking the positive side of all the people who said like getting a vasectomy was the best thing they ever done, and he who dares wins. So I just says, yeah doc, I'm still going ahead with it. And he gave me a waiver and I just signed away. So what he did then was he went to his press. He asked me what size waist I was, told him I was a size 30 waist, and he took this out here, this jock strap. It was in a packet, and he told me to go into the bathroom next door, take off my trousers and my underwear, put this on, and then put my underwear and my trousers back on over it. And then I did as he asked, came back into his room, and he says, right, stand at the side of the bench there and pull everything down. So I stood at the side of the bench, pulled my trousers down, my underwear and the jock strap, and he says, now get up on the bench and lie on your back. So I got up on the bench, lied on my back, he said, spread them legs, and he came over and he started spraying all the alcohol liquid all over my genitals, and then he gave me 4 little pinches. They were for the anaesthetic, and there was no pain in them at all. They were just like, it was like if I just went myself and pinched me scrotum. There was no pain at all, 4 times. And then he put the big blue surgical sheet over me with just a hole in it for where my ball bag sticks out so he can operate. And he started going to work, and I said, so are you tugging away down there? And he says, yeah, I just started. I said, that's grand, I can't feel a thing. So, like it was nothing to him. He started asking me, so are you into the football, the rugby or anything like that? And I was like, yeah, I'm into the football, I'm a Man United man. And he was like, oh, you're starting to do well now this season, aren't you? So we're just chatting away casually about sports and all, and he was telling me where he's from, and I was saying, oh no, well, I used to go there on my holidays and all, like, and it was grand, it was. And then halfway through, he goes, did you feel that there? I says, no. That's okay then. He was just tugging away, snipping and clipping, doing whatever he had to do, and it was grand. It was grand. There was no pain at all. I couldn't feel a thing. And it only lasted 10 minutes, if even 10 minutes. And just as he was finishing up, he said to me, right, what you should do is go to the pharmacy as soon as you leave here and get some ibuprofen, 400 meg, and some paracetamol, and just scatter between the two of them over the next couple of days. Make sure you get them before the anaesthetic wears off, because like, there's a good chance you could feel a bit of a buzzing pain when the anaesthetic wears off. So when he finished, I pulled up my trousers and my jock strap. He said I have to wear this jock strap for 48 hours. Probably wear it into work on Monday as well. I think I'm going to wear it in work on Monday and Tuesday as well, just to be on the safe side. Because it's nice and it holds everything nice and compact up there, you know, doesn't let it dangle or anything like that. And then he told me to sit down and says just need to go through another few things as well. And he gave me a little bottle, you know, for a semen sample and some paperwork. And what I have to do is I have to have a wank into the bottle in about 14 weeks time, and then send the bottle off in the mail to the hospital with me semen in it, and hopefully the results will prove that I'm shooting blanks, and then the doctor will get back on to me, tell me you've your sperm aren't working, there's no sperm traces in your semen. So when I get the word from him, I'll be good to go to start using me vasectomy as contraception. Happy days. If they still do find sperm, well then I have to take another test a few weeks later. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And then, yeah, he asked me then did I have health insurance or anything like that. He said that I could claim back some of the money, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to save enough money as it is by not having kids. I think I'll just let this one slide. So I went out to the desk, paid the girl her money behind the desk, and then went straight up to the pharmacy around the corner on Grafton Street and got some ibuprofen and paracetamol. The girl in the pharmacy, she gave me a cup of water, and I popped an ibuprofen there and then, and was on the train on my merry way home. And then just spent the next 2 days just chilling out in the crib, putting the feet up, letting the crown jewels get back to their very best. And while I was hanging around the house, I recorded this story time chat, which is very relevant to the subject matter of this video, and that's what I'm going to end the vlog with right now. Enjoy. Okay folks, this story that I'm about to tell you is true. It actually did happen to me. I'm not lying at all. Right, this was a few weeks ago. It was when I uploaded that video that I made about going to get a vasectomy in Bangkok. And as soon as I uploaded it, I was getting loads of comments in, lots of mixed opinions. People saying, oh Paul, don't do it, or you're gonna regret it, and others saying, oh, I got a vasectomy when I was this age and best thing I ever done and no looking back, and others saying, oh yeah, you do whatever's right for you, Paul, and everything. Everyone had an opinion, And I was going to work the next day, and on the train going into work, the comments were still flying in. And I was doing a long shift, 12-hour shift. And it came to when we were doing breaks. We were working in this place, so I'd never been there before. It was this new place, right? And we were doing our breaks, rotating for what times to take our big break, our hour-long break. And I said to the lads, I said, here, listen, I'm easy, I'll go whenever. So it worked out, I went on last break. I was having my hour break at 3 o'clock in the day. And I was directed to this staff room where I could go and have something to eat and make a cup of tea. So I went into the staff room. It was 3 p.m. and the place was empty except for this girl. There was another girl just there playing on her phone. She was a bit older than me. She was in her 40s. And I went rooting around the place looking for tea bags, and I asked her, do you know where the tea bags are? And she says, oh yeah, they're in that bottom shelf there down underneath the microwave. So I got a tea bag and I proceeded to make myself a cup of tea, and then I was walking past her with my cup of tea, and she just takes her head away from her phone and she starts talking to me. She had an Eastern European accent. She started saying to me, I keep finding drugs in my son's bedroom, and oh, this is not the first time. It's like 3 or 4 times now. I'm always finding drugs on him. And I'm just like that, looking at her like that, as if like where's this coming from? Jeez. But at the same time I was keeping a bit of a straight face. It was kind of like, what is it, a bit of smoke or something, is it? And she said, oh, all different, a smoker first, but now it's all different types of drugs, all different types. And then she showed me her phone. She said she took pictures, and there was a picture on her phone, and it was like all these different powders and capsules and everything. Like, she said she found them in her son's wardrobe. I was looking at all the different types of drugs. I hadn't got a clue what any of them were. There was some that were like in a packet, you know, like in a pop packet that like you buy out of a pharmacy. I was like, what the hell are they? And she says, oh, they're downers, they're Valium. And then there was a see-through bag with a label on it saying DMT. I heard of that stuff. I know it's one of those new drugs that are on the scene that they give a kind of crazy, like, dream-like state or something like that. It's, I don't know. I hear of people taking it, and anyway, I don't know what it is. And then there was like all these other little like capsules with like you could see the powder in the capsule. I was guessing they were like something like MDMA or something like that. But there was loads of different types. And then there was a little weighing scales as well, in amongst them as well. Like, oh, it's the weighing scales and all. She says, yeah, he's selling the drugs now. And then like she just looked really, you know, what would you say? Yeah, she just looked really upset, like, you know. Like, I just got this impression that like she desperately needed someone to talk to. So I just sat down at the table facing her. And she was there saying to me, going, oh, he was such a good boy for so long, he's such a good boy, he's 20 years old, he's in his 2nd year in college, he was always a good boy, he was mad into his studies and all, does really well in his exams, but recently he's just fallen apart he is. So she was telling me then that like she's married with 2 sons, one is 20 and then the other one is only 13, and the 2 boys share a bedroom together. And she doesn't like him keeping drugs in the room while his 13-year-old brother has to share the room with him, you know. And then she was telling me that like she called the police on him. She called the police on her son, and I was like, what? You called the police on him? I was, why didn't you just tell him to move out? And she goes, that's what I wanted to do, I confronted my husband about it, she said. And the husband was just fobbing her off, saying, oh, you're worrying about nothing, all kids do that and all, like, he's just out having fun and you ever relax and all, like, giving all that kind of like, you know, who cares attitude. And I thought, you know, that's a bit bad form considering he has to like share a room with a 13-year-old boy. You know, it's dangerous having like all them kind of drugs. Like, if she could find them, I'm guessing like surely the little brother could find them as well, you know. But then she was like, yeah, continuing on saying that like she's doing late shifts, her shift hasn't even started yet, she can't even like be in the house around her husband and her son because like they're ganging up on her. They're like calling her names, like calling her like a big stress ball, saying that like she has bipolar and stuff like this, and she says like she's on her own in the house. Yeah, the husband and the son are just ganging up on her, and she says like she'd no other choice but to call the police. And I looked at her and I said, well, when you put it like that, yeah, you done right, you did. You done right. Yeah, I'd have done the same if I was her. You know, because if she finds the drugs continuously, well, like, first thing she has to do is confront her husband. That's like her life partner. And if he doesn't want to do the responsible thing as a parent, well, there's no other option but like to go to the police. Because imagine if like the 13-year-old kid found them and he started taking them and they came home and found him choking on his vomit or something like that. Or anyways, when you sell drugs like that, I think, and anyway, it always ends in tears in the end. Trouble will always come back to the house at some stage. So I said to her, yeah, you done right and all, like, and then she was like really like, you know, starting to fall apart a little bit, you know. She was like, you could see she was holding back the tears, like, you know. And she was saying, oh, I did everything for them, my sons, my family. I did everything for them, and they're putting me through this, and everything. She was telling me that, like, when she lived in Poland before she moved to Ireland, the only reason she came to Ireland is because her husband got a really good job here, and she couldn't speak a word of English. The only reason she went is because, like, her husband said it'll only be a temporary thing till they make some money, and like he's able to speak fluent English and stuff like that. So they moved over to Ireland with their 2 young sons. And she said after a while she was going back to Poland to visit, bringing her sons. And she said her 2 sons were in tears at the airport saying, oh, mama, we love Ireland so much, And she said there and then, right, because she saw that her husband was doing so well in his well-to-do job, that, yeah, I'll give it a proper go. If my husband and sons are so happy here, I'll give it a go. And she said when she came back from her holiday in Poland, she enrolled in school to study English, and like she spoke brilliant English, like perfectly fluent, and decided to go out and get a job. And she said the job that she's doing now, like, it's something that she'd never do in Poland. It's beneath her, but she'll still do it in order to keep her family happy. And she's there saying, I did everything for my family, everything, and this is what happened now. It's just being ripped apart. And I said to her, I said, here, listen, like, when you have kids, especially in this day and age, you can do everything for them, but at some point they have to go out into the real world by themselves. You can't stay by their side all the time. Whether they go to school, college, the workplace, they're going to meet people and befriend them, and those people, whatever happens to them and the people that they meet, like, it's going to have an influence on them, on how they shape out for the rest of their lives. So, like, listen, it's a very common story. Kids going to college here and getting involved with drugs. Because she was saying to me that, like, he's now into techno parties, going out to like nightclubs, going raving and all that, and then he's just changed into a totally different person, saying he's real mean to his little brother and all. He's moody, snapping at him, snapping at his mum and dad and all. Like, I says, here, listen, it's a common story. It happens like to a lot of people, and a lot of people like drop out of college and they just go get a job, you know, or if they're caught by their parents bringing drugs into the house, they're told to move on. They have to move out, you know. And she was saying that anyway, she called the police on him, and the police came to the house while the son wasn't there and took the drugs away just so they could examine them. And the police examined the drugs, got back to her and says, yeah, these are illegal substances. So they said they were going to go to the house the following morning. When I was speaking to her, like in that staff room, said they were going to come to the house the following morning and arrest the son. So she was saying she was going to do her late shift, and then she was going to go stay at a friend's house as well. She didn't want to be around to see it. And she said she's also trying to organise like free legal aid to try and get her husband kicked out of the house. And I suppose like she's well within her rights, I do believe, anyway, because the husband was being a very irresponsible parent, allowing the son to be a drug dealer and bring drugs into the house while there's a minor sharing a room with him. I think that's grounds for the divorce, if you ask me. So I said to her, listen, I know it's very sad that your family's breaking up, but listen, if something really horrible went wrong and like it meant like one of your sons health being at risk, you'd only have yourself to blame because you gave that kind of behaviour a green light. She was like, yeah, I know. But anyways, it was a whole hour there we were talking to each other. And like, we would have stayed there longer, only I looked at me watch and says, that's an hour, I have to go back to work. And she said, oh, thanks for talking to me and all. I says, yeah, no worries, like, it's grand. So I was going back to work and I was just thinking to myself, Jesus Christ, man. Poor woman, man. She has problems, like, you know. But like, what I thought was the mad part as well is that, like, she was telling me this story, and like, little did she realise that, like, what she was telling me was having a big impact on what I was going through as well. After the video that I just uploaded on YouTube talking about getting me vasectomy and how, like, I never want to have kids. And now I'm not saying that, like, you know, everyone that has kids, they're like, their kids are gonna, like, grow up to be like drug dealing little hellraisers. Like, there is a chance that they could, and I believe, like, it's got nothing to do with the parents, you know, because as I said, your kids have to go out into the world by themselves at some stage. You can, like, enforce your morals and your values on them and everything like that, but it's only natural for kids to be rebellious when they get to a certain age, you know. And if they do, like, start getting involved with that kind of stuff, you just have to send them on their ways, saying, like, you have to move out. No, I wouldn't like doing that. You know, kicking my own kid out of the house. But if it had to be done, it had to be done, and just hope for the best that they mature and grow out of it, and just realise that they were silly when they were young, which a lot of people do. A lot of people do that as well, like, you know. Now, you could have kids now, like, you know, who are as good as gold, and they do everything you tell them, they do everything by the book, don't cause you any trouble, and you're dead proud of them. It's still, like, a massive lifestyle change, one that I don't want to go through it. I'm happy with my life right now. Jenny's very happy with the life that we have together. You know, she was, like, only telling me today that someone stopped by in the shop, one of my subscribers, to say hello, and she's saying he's only a young guy like you, he loves your channel because, like, he's the same like you, he loves travelling, he likes to go drinking whenever he feels like it, does everything at his own pace, keeps all his money, like, to just enjoy life. And I said, Jenny, you love it as well. Since you hooked up with me, you've been having loads of holidays as well. So don't start lying to me saying, like, because she does, like, nag at me sometimes. But I say, you love it as well, Jenny. And she was like, yeah. So that's the life for me, folks. Super fit, happy, healthy, no stress, child free. Vasectomy life. Snip, snip.